Right. Welcome to our connection here with being in the heart, as well as having the opportunity to share any guidance intuitively that you have at this moment if you have any questions. So, the way we're going to flow today is I'm just going to share a bit about the heart and share a little bit about the way of the heart, the group that I'm called that the cacao was calling forward through me to share about that just a little bit, and then going to open it up to all of you to just share. I know a lot's going on right now, like, as a lot's been going on for the past how many years? Consistently, just all this acceleration, all this change, all this openness, all this embodiment. And I know we just had a huge shift through the solstice and the full moon, which was pretty profound, I think, for a lot of people. So I'll open it up for you to share in chat if there's anything that you're needing clarity about or you'd like some healing around. And it always supports everybody in the space, in the group. So I always appreciate everything that you bring in. And sometimes I'll just give you information, or I might lead a short meditation on that, which everyone benefits from. So we'll see how it goes, but we'll begin with a grounding, unifying, short coherence meditation, and then we'll go into the discussion and then the intuitive guidance. So thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate it, and everyone who's on the replay. So let's take a moment here and take a deep breath in. Welcome yourself here to this moment. Welcome yourself here to your body. And with your breath, just letting if the breath deepen into your body, welcoming in the opportunity to just feel your breath coming in and out of your body. To invite yourself to be here to, as you're breathing, feeling your body, letting on your exhales, your face relax and your shoulders relax, and maybe even a nice sigh, and letting your hips relax into your seat, feeling yourself supported in your seat. Feeling your feet on the floor and your hands resting gently wherever they're resting. To allow yourself to be here, to give yourself the permission to fully be present here and now in this moment. And then we'll bring a nice, beautiful white light around everybody and a golden white light around our circle as a whole. And as we do that, we're going to ask for any and all energies that are no longer needed in any of our bodies, physical bodies. Just gently release, and allowing our soul light, our source light, to fill up our physical bodies and our energy bodies. So that anything that we've interacted with, consciously or unconsciously, that we welcome that to go back to source or go where it needs to go in this moment. It's not needed here now. Good. Yes. Any cords to anybody with any place in the body, physical body, energy body. Calling in the highest frequency for each one of us to support each one of us around our bodies, through our bodies, around our energy bodies. That's clearly connected with the highest good for ourselves, individually, and us here collectively. That we're in a space to really connect into our hearts today, really connect into the truth and the opening that is here for us. As we allow this white light to now flow from the top of the head down through the center of the body, down into the center of the pure heart of Earth. the pure heart of earth, where it's strong and stable and connected and receives us in our wholeness from the place of wholeness. We welcome that clear, pure, whole energy up through our bodies, from the base of our spine up through the center column of our body, up through the top of our head. Letting that flow all the way above our heads into source light. And then letting that flow cascade all around our body. It's like a big bubble of light with our body in that center channel in the middle, kind of like a donut, letting it flow down through the center of earth and back up to the center of the body, up through source and around that beautiful toroidal field of energy that supports us in being in our bodies, being in a clear frequency of ourself. Beautiful. And with your breath, letting your body relax more into your seat, letting your energy expand out. Just inviting your energy to expand out to as wide as it needs to be in a full, pure light around your body. To be fully present and connected with your higher self, with your truth, with your heart. So that we may connect in the deepest way possible through a thread of light through each one of our hearts and our purest thread of connection here, weaving us and our soul light together here through the highest and clearest frequency and light possible. Beautiful. We'll put a silvery white light in the center of our circle that will just hold the space of clarity, so that anytime anything comes in, maybe a challenge or any energy that comes in, it just automatically gets cleared from the space. Good. Taking a deep breath through your heart, welcoming a beautiful golden light in the center of your heart to shine, to expand all around and through your heart. And if you have any intentions here for yourself, for healing, for what's available for you here now today, just welcoming that to expand and amplify through your heart. Knowing that this is the place of our pure connection to soul, to source, and the wisdom and the power that we are as individuals in our bodies. So thank you. Thank you for being here, feeling your feet, feeling yourself. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So, with that, who's been feeling this great expansion happening right now? How are you feeling it? If you like to share in chat how you're feeling it, how's it coming through? I know that for a lot of people, the heart is really opening, the heart's really expanding. There's a lot showing up for us to really deepen and strengthen that inner connection with the self, with ourselves, where no matter what's going on, we keep returning to the heart. We keep returning to the heart and welcoming that. So I just love to, if you want to say who's, yes in the chat, if you're feeling the heart opening, if you're feeling that expanse, and anything else that's showing up for you, is it's pretty alive right now. Just through the solstice and through the full moon, there was such a high frequency of photonic light that we received for our systems, our bodies, our minds, and our hearts to remember, yes, That's what I am. That's who I am. That's what we are. Pure light. Pure light on every level, every thought, every feeling, every movement of the nerves, everything is just, a electromagnetic current of light. And the heart is really calling right now through the heart is, we've had that old idea that the heart's the pump that pumps the blood through the body. Well, the heart's actually a vortex. These four chambers of a spiral of a vortex of how the blood comes in and how the blood goes out. And it's actually the plasmatic qualities of the water in its plasma state that's actually pumping everything through the body. And it's in a crystalline state. And so right now, as we're going through this, even science is like, yes, like science and the heart of soul and spirituality is merging, and all of these things are showing up for us to really relate to and welcome this union of self. Welcome this union of self right now on such a powerful level. And when we're talking about union with self, we're talking about how it is that we can really thread and weave our thoughts in with our heart. And our heart is really becoming the main thought, and how it's weaving with the gut, the mind, the brain in our gut system, and how this fluid motion through the body is becoming one unified field of light, or one unified field of energy, one unified field of creation, so that our bodies are super in a supercharged state right now to kind of to detox, one, to dump out what we're still holding, because a lot of the things that we've been working through the beginning of the year, this density is like ready to don't need to hold on to that anymore, right? Let's just welcome love. Let's welcome the self-love. Let's welcome the self-care. Let's welcome all of that. And so a few weeks ago, as I was sitting with my morning cacao, I sit with cacao every morning. It just became a part of my morning meditation, because I meditate every morning. And it was like, all right, it's time to bring people into ceremony of the heart, the ceremony of the heart. And I was like, okay, just tell me when. And, and it was percolating. And then just the other day, I was like, okay, it's time to bring it out, like through the solstice. It's like, as like that beating, that rhythm of the universe, of the living consciousness of the earth, and the living consciousness of the sun, and the living consciousness of all the starseed planets right now are saying, okay, everything that has come before this moment as the creation of this life is merging, and it's merging through the heart. so it's pretty powerful right now, and it's pretty exciting. And as we're recognizing who we are in this truth, of our creative photonic state of heart purity, heart intelligence, and heart coherence, through everything that's happening on this planet and everything that's happening beyond, right? So the way of the heart. So that those words just kept ringing through, the way of the heart, the way of the heart. And it's like, well, it is. The way of the heart is our creative capacity of our physical body, of our soul being woven into the physicality of our body. And so the way of the heart, this 4-week journey is really about deepening the relationship with our soul through our heart, and really amplifying the living consciousness that is the center of every cell, that light, that light photonic experience of every cell, so that we can deepen the relationship with ourself. Because right now, as I wrote that email, you are your purpose. It's like, we get these ideas, and we have visions, and we have these capacities, and we have these skills. But what are those things if we're not, deeply connecting in with ourselves first? And then what happens when we deepen that relationship with ourselves, and we're in that heart coherence with ourselves, and that self-love, that self-care, that self-connection, then wow, what's possible? And we just naturally flow that soul source light that we are as a living consciousness, is that one flow of light that is completely in union, in its optimal frequency. And then we just become who we are. It's just natural, right? And then there's that less of that tension and that burden and that, dissonance that can happen when we're like, I've got to do something in the world, I've got a mission, I've got this. But then there's all the stuff going inside that keeps us, you know, from expressing it or feeling it or doing it, whether it's self-worth or self-value or whatever it is, right? It's all that tension that comes up. And it's like, okay, let's set that aside for a moment and connect here. Let's connect here. Like, where are we? And so the reason why I wanted to come through in that ceremonial way, which is going to be different than the way I usually lead meditations. If anyone's experienced a cacao ceremony or any ceremony, and it doesn't have to be cacao, and I'll get into that later, but it's this way that we are bringing in a deeper elemental form of ourself, and that we're really going in, like recognizing, okay, I'm going into ceremony, I'm going into that deep honoring, I'm going into that deep devotion, and I'm going into it from the deepest sacred parts of my being, and really coming into that space in honor of yourself. It's not about me. It's not about what I'm saying. It's not about necessarily the content. It's going, I am going to be coming into this space to deepen through what is being brought through the connection to myself. So, in essence, when we sit in ceremony, especially, it's not going to be online, and I've done these online before, cacao ceremonies, and they're just as profound as in person. Uh, it's it's a way to recognize when you're setting up your space. Like, you're going to be like I'm going to be directing, you're going to be setting up your own ceremonial space for you in that meeting, right? In that gathering, in that connection, to where you get to engage with your own honoring and ceremonial way, that you get to connect with yourself in that sacredness. And we're going to be deepening our relationship with the heart every time we get together. We're going to go a little deeper. We're going to go a little deeper. And I'm going to be sharing tidbits on some science that is going to help our minds, really connect into the physicality of our system, that is proving what we already say about how our soul and our physical functions in the body, right? But just so we can start to unify with the subconscious conscious mind, to open up and amplify that living consciousness that's already flowing through our bodies in every moment, in every second, in every breath, in every experience, and recognize maybe where we're still holding things in our heart that are like, okay, let's set that free, right? Let's set that free, so we can strengthen that vortex of life that we are, right? That we're strengthening our frequency, we're amplifying our frequency. And as I've been sharing over this past year or so, there's in that spiral that's been going through the planet. And we just had a double spiral go through from, through the central sun, this through the solstice. That was like, all right, we're creating the vortex, like we're creating the heart of the vortex. Who's in, like, let's go. and and I know some of you were experiencing some really profound experiences through that, from just hearing what you've been sharing. And so this is an opportunity to step into even deeper the spiral of the vortex of you, of your truth, of your connection to self, of that amplification, of to crystallize this even more as this energy is happening. So it's going to be, I feel like already the people who are joining, some, really beautiful people with some high energy. So I feel like it's going to be really high energy. It's going to be a high energy space. And so like I mentioned, I'm calling it in through the cacao, because the cacao is already a natural in its physical way in its sense. It's a vasodilator, it opens the heart, it opens the circulation, it gets things moving. It actually is very regenerative for the body. And that's what this whole thing is right now, is regenerating the body so that it can be this functional frequency of life force that we are through the heart. The heart's that vortex that's like, all right, we're generating life. What are you going to do with it? Let's go, you know? And so it's really getting in touch with the parts of ourselves that are saying yes to our life force energy and the cacao itself. And it also, um, the what's really cool about the cacao too is that it doubles the amount of stem cells that are produced in the body for healing, for life generation. It has a lot of magnesium that helps calm the body down and other really powerful properties. And so that's why I like to sit with it. And that's why it was calling us forward. It's like, it's the time of the heart. It's the time of the heart. And this is the direct connection. That being said, I've also sat in ceremony with water. I've also sat in ceremony with tea. I've also sat in ceremony. And since the elevation and the intention of the way of the heart and these ceremonies are coming together, we will be already opening, and the channel of the heart is already opened through this circle that's forming right now. And we can program anything. You know, water's fantastic. Today, I have tea with me because like I said, as I was sharing earlier today, I'm not in my, as you can see by my background, I'm not in my home because my son broke his wrist and I had to go somewhere else. So here we are, and so I have my tea. But it's like anytime we hold something and we're connecting with it, and we're in that deep, you know, concentration, and we're in that deep focus and in that deep sense of heart connection, right? It automatically is rippling out and programming and radiating whatever it is. So if you are called to join and you're like, I, you know, don't have access to ceremonial cacao, or I don't want to get it, water, tea, great. It's perfect, right? Just know that it's ceremony, and that's all that you're showing up for, right? So so here we are, opening into the living consciousness of life, of ourself, amplifying that love, that pure love, you know, the deepest essence of pure love that we've maybe ever felt for ourselves, ever in our lives that we can remember, right? And so that's what we're offering here through this. So, yes. And if you have any questions about it, you can always, you know, put it in chat. Um, So we're going to be doing 4 ceremonies, 4 weeks, 4 ceremonies, and then 4 integration support calls through what comes through the ceremonies, because it's going to be, you know, we're going to be moving some energy and embodying some energy through that. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. I'm really excited about it. Because the earth is calling us. Everything I feel, you know, for those of you who are feeling that, you know, the earth is calling us. It's calling us forward, you know, to really step into the body, to step into our light, step into our strength, step into our clarity. And so here we are, the way of the heart. So I'll share more about that later. I'm curious though, if anyone has any questions you want to put in chat, or anything that you're looking for guidance around. So just also, we'll be starting next Friday with the opening ceremony. Every call will be on a Tuesday. Every ceremony will be on a Tuesday, and every integration call will be on a Friday. And the ceremonies will be 2 hours. The integration calls will be about an hour, hour and a half. And we start July 9th and move through August 2nd. And that's going to be our flow. There's July 9th will be the first ceremony. July 5th will be the opening ceremony. Yeah, it feels like because as I'm speaking and I'm tuning in, it's like there's this real visceral experience that I know a lot of people are experiencing right now too, where it's like you can just feel, it's like feeling that rhythm of life pumping through the body and just through nature and through, the living consciousness of everything. That's like, okay, let's affirm life again. Let's affirm life again, in our own body, in our own space. So we're going to be bridging. We're going to be doing a lot of bridging of the mind and the heart and the physical functions of the heart through into welcoming more of the soul and the source to amplify itself through the body. Yeah. So if anyone has any questions and you want to share it in chat, yeah, Charmaine, you said the light was so brilliant, diamond. I just couldn't not even look at the sun. It was so powerful. The heart is a generator and a projector, a huge projector. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like if it's so interesting to me because it's one and one, they're both the same. If it's generating, it's rippling, it's projecting, right? So that's the power of it. As a generator, there's no not projecting because it's amplifying such a frequency and rippling out such a frequency. As we know, our heart has the one of the biggest energy bodies out of all the organs and the whole system of the body. So we're just going to be allowing that. So does anyone want to share anything that you're experiencing? You can put it in chat, or if you have a question, since we have a small group here too, if you want to unmute yourself. Sometimes when there's larger groups, I don't have people speak because then it just goes. So just curious if anyone wants to come on and share, or just be concise and ask a question that you'd like some intuitive guidance or clarity or connection with. I know this is a big time right now. Charmaine, yeah, do you want to unmute yourself? And Kathy?
Hi. Hi. I just wanted to share that recently, well, a couple of weeks ago, I started listening every morning, taking part in a meditation with Panache Desai, and I don't know if you know of him, but I heard of him years ago. But anyways, he's pretty profound, and he can be humorous at times, but what he's been teaching basically is that we already are enough. Like it's coming back home to who we are, just as you said, and it's profound. But in the past week too, I just reread the book Celestine Prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I read that book 30 years ago. And then about 4 years ago, I was involved with a group and we did a group study and we started restudying it. But this past week, when I read it, it was so profound. Like it was so, because I just saw everything, how it's unfolded in the past 30 years, how the insights have unfolded, how you know, um, every insight, how it affected me in my life and where we are now. And it's like, whoa, it's so neat. It's just, yeah, that's been my last couple of weeks have been really opening up. And yeah, besides that sunlight that keeps whoa, blasting me, it's powerful. But
Thank you, Charmaine. That's really beautiful. I'm glad you found something that's been really supporting you. And absolutely, there's never not been, as we talk, there's never not been that separation, right? It's just we thought there was, and so now we're just unwinding those thoughts to go, wait, it's just right here. It's just naturally already right here. We get to sink
but
into. Yeah.
I find with a lot of my friends, a lot of people, though, they're still always concerned about trying to fix other people and getting into other people's dramas, and it's all about everybody else. And I'm going, no, no, no. You have to come back to you. It's about you. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. That's none of your business. You are your business. Figure out who you are. And so it's like always, but yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. It's so one of the key things that we'll be working with through the way of the heart is exactly that, where we're so inner focused that it creates such a neutrality and a space of non-judgment of ourselves and others, right? So it really clears that, because what we're calling forth in this experience is a shift of perspective. A shift of perspective where life is, all the life, like you said, is like that we need to really focus on is right here. And then whatever does come into our field, then we have that clearer choice of how we want to interact with it. And then we even have that clear depth of choice of going, ooh, I felt that ping me somewhere. Maybe I'm getting caught up in that drama because I got it myself and I'm judging it of them because, it's right here, so it's kind of like when we're really operating and moving from the heart, then it's easier to just step back and say, whoa, all right, it's all about what's right here. All about what's right here. And so when that happens, then guess what? That inner intuition, that inner guidance, like I mentioned, we're going to be deeply clarifying that channel, that field of clarity that is the voice of ourself. That voice that's not the voice that we have to seek anymore because I'm not in touch. It's more like we're automatically listening, feeling, experiencing, living from that voice of ourself, right? Because our heart is that. That's what it's generating. That's what it's moving. And the Celestine prophecy is, I remember reading that many, many years ago myself. And and what's really coming through right now is that ninth insight, the second book, right? Where we're in the heart and they weren't seen. They were able to shift to a different they shifted to a different frequency, right? Because they were in the heart, they weren't in fear. And so this is where we're at in life on this earth and on this planet right now, where when we're in that space, then we can, shift the emotions or shift the thoughts, shift everything that we're engaged with. Yeah. So, Sarah, I've sprained my left ankle and also hurt my left knee and hip. I often have pain in my low back and left hip. I wonder if this is about moving forward, feeling stuck, or what emotional energy is linked to the sprained ankle and painful legs. Maybe some anger. Let's see. So, the words that are coming through right now, Sarah, is what are you holding against yourself? What are you holding against yourself? What are you holding against yourself? What are you holding against your other people? What are you holding against the world? Like I'm just seeing like this knot, and it is anger, but it's like, what are you holding against yourself? So when we're holding things against ourselves, we're not going to be able to move forward. We're not going to be able to take those steps because every time we take those steps, guess what shows up? What we're holding against ourselves or others or the world, right? So if you're having judgments like, you did something or somebody else did something and that's the foundation or framework from which you reference your life from, then, there's not going to be the clarity to shift, right? So we can do a little meditation about that to release that, whoever's maybe holding something. But Kathy, I know you wanted to share too, so why don't you come on and then we'll if if you had to share something or if you had a question for guidance, and then we'll do that meditation.
Okay, I just wanted to say that I'm having a hard time being balanced,
Mhm.
not just in my body, but um, externally. It's really hard. And you're talking about physically, I guess, or energetically opening the heart. For me, that it's so amped up already that I have a hard time being balanced and listening in there, in that container with the heart. The heartbeat is speeding up a little bit, not to where I do notice that the beat of the heart is speeding up some, but I can't keep my balance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So how is that going to affect me
Well,
in these? How
yeah.
is that going to affect the integration?
Well, it's going to be an opportunity to get grounded into the body because we're going to go into the stillness. Because right now, as that acceleration is happening, yes, and we're feeling amped up, it's going, okay, let's let that energy have its expression, but let's ground into it. Let's feel that stillness. And so right now, what I'm sensing is like I sense that too. And I just have to sometimes just go, okay, call it in. So like what are you doing to ground, to call it in, instead of letting yourself go into the amplification of it, right? So what we'll be doing is practicing feeling that expansion and opening, and then getting into that quiet, centered, still space.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's that's a real good way of description
Hmm.
of how it's going to work.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Because we don't want to be spiraled out. I mean, there's a lot of energy amplifying right now. So let's get in our bodies with it. Let's welcome that spiral, but that spiral, that's that deep underlying foundation where we get to understand how to be centered, grounded, and connected with ourself, with our clarity as everything's opening up. If that makes sense to you. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's so what's happening is our systems are getting so altered right now. And it is like I was feeling completely altered from Friday through yesterday when everything still when I was like I was like, "Oh, okay, I don't feel as altered." But I was feeling altered from, that solstice and full moon all the way through, and it was like we're on operating on a different plane right now. We're operating on a whole nother level of consciousness, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
what I was doing was just doing a lot of my own way of connecting into my body and grounding the way I know how to say, all right, I'm welcoming this integration. I'm welcoming and inviting this integration, right?
Okay.
Instead of going, oh my, wow, you know what I mean? Like we can sometimes when the energy is really big. And so it's just learning and it's practicing that opportunity to say, okay, I feel that happening and I'm coming in. Coming in.
This is going to be, we are going to be simultaneously participating in this way.
Yep.
Uh, each fractal of us that we are made up of, it's going to be, it's going to be um, melding, and we're going to, I think we're going to be, um, we're already experiencing the electromagnetic and the speed, the vibration. And I think that that's keeps going deeper and deeper. And I think we're gonna, our inner and our bodies are going to say, wait, I feel this vibration, this frequency. Wait, I'm feeling this deeper dive, and we're going to be doing it simultaneously.
It's happening simultaneously. That's the acceleration of the process. It's like we're having to it's like not that space where something happens and then we have time to integrate. It's like now we're at that place
Okay.
where it's happening. This is who we are. And I love that, Charmaine, because that's exactly what I feel too, is that this is who we truly are. What's happening right now is this energy, this frequency, this information, this everything is what we truly are. And our hearts have always been open to that, on some level, because it's how our bodies operate, the fundamental structure of our DNA, of the photons, of the water that runs through our system, of how our system operates. This is who we truly are. And right now what's happening is it's coming alive. We're having to consciously relate to it because we can't not
Mhm.
because of how intense it is. So it's going welcoming yourself to your body, saying, okay, energy, this is mine. This is what this really is. Let's connect with it. Let's connect with
Okay.
it. In fact,
Much clearer description
yeah,
of what we are all. It's hard to find the words, but I think that that's on these different internal levels that it's all coming together.
yeah,
Okay. That makes a lot more sense
yeah.
as to the speed and the amplification.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I mean, if we were
Okay.
living at the optimal level of what this physical body is capable of, at this point, I mean, we would be levitating, we would be having telepathy. It would be happening, but this is the steps towards that because we haven't consciously connected in with the true function of our system for how long? This is it
Yeah.
coming forth for us to engage with. And that's what we're
Okay.
going to be doing through that 4 weeks is going, okay, we're opening the heart, we're connecting, and we're welcoming the true function of this energy frequency of our source soul self into our consciousness to be that even deeper, even deeper than we probably ever have in our life, right? As we are opening up to it, it's learning how to operate with it. Yeah. Yeah. So anybody else want to And so, okay, we're going to I'm going to lead a short meditation here for us and this is the kind of thing we'll be doing in the ceremony too, is going through some meditations that will help guide us into these places to, support whatever shifts are necessary on these higher frequency levels that are ready to kind of shift out any densities that we're holding, right? So, so if everyone wants to participate, with what, Sarah brought forth for us around uh around the excuse me, the pain in her body, which is, what the underlying cause was, holding something against herself. So I'm going to lead a short meditation to support us in any way that we may be holding something against ourselves. Or holding something in general that's been a projection of not allowing ourselves to feel that love and that connection, where it's ping ponging in our bodies and causing challenges. So let's take a let's take a breath in and just acknowledge everything that we've heard up to this moment. And as we're acknowledging everything we heard up to this moment, we'll just let it let it integrate where it needs to integrate, and welcoming it to flow out if it's needed to. And as we do this, just welcoming a breath through our hearts, welcoming a breath through your heart. And as you do that, feeling your feet on the floor, feeling your feet wherever your feet are resting. So we can feel our bodies as we do this. We can feel ourself. Giving ourselves the opportunity to just be with the body and the heart and the breath. Feeling your feet, to feel your body, feeling your hands resting wherever they're resting, and tuning into your heart, into your body right now to welcome an opportunity to engage and listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. And as you do this, just welcoming in an opportunity to invite maybe anything that you have been holding against yourself. Anything that you've been holding against yourself. Anything, maybe, or maybe there's something that you've held against somebody else. Maybe noticing where you're holding it in your body. Where are you holding it in your body? And if you wish to, placing a hand on your heart and just welcoming the opportunity here to welcome the light in your heart to surround what it is you might be holding against yourself. Just acknowledging maybe an image, the thoughts, the sensations, the memories, the experiences that are showing up for you here. Maybe it is something you're holding against somebody else. Just welcoming that light and saying, is it possible for me to accept this? Is it possible for me to accept that I've held this energy, that I've held this perspective, that I've held these emotions, that I've held these thoughts? Is it possible for me to accept this? And how much of you is willing to accept it? And just opening to however much of you is willing to accept. This may feel a little uncomfortable, or it may feel like it's ready. If you're feeling any tension or resistance, just breathing into the resistance and saying, okay, I hear you, resistance. I hear you, resistance. And if there is resistance going, what's the resistance? What's the tension? Why do I want to keep holding it? What's it doing for me to keep holding it? And if you're feeling the opening where it's just ready, just really allowing that energy to dissolve. And just say, wow, thank you for the lessons, the teachings. Thank you for the experiences. And now I'm ready to have a different experience, a different perspective, a different feeling, a different choice. Welcoming in the power to make your choice in this moment now. To set it free or to hold it. To set it free. To hold it. Good. A lot of setting free going on here. And through your heart, just welcoming that heart to expand through you, and just welcoming that opportunity to really sense yourself, to sense your knowing, to sense your experience of what you're ready for, to feel with yourself. Are you ready to feel more connection, more relaxation, more calm, more acceptance, more love, more joy, more laughter, more peace, more calm? If any emotions are arising, just greeting those emotions. If there's sadness or anger or grief, just saying, okay, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you that we've been together for a long time. We've been together for a long time, and it's okay now. Can we be okay together now? Can we truly be okay together now? Can we let those thoughts and those feelings, that the real me was within that the whole time? The real me was in that the whole time. So let's welcome that essence of ourself that we engaged with through that perspective that maybe didn't feel so wholesome. That underneath it and within it was our true self the whole time. And we're welcoming that true self to embrace what we've held. And if you wish to, even bringing in that prayer, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I love you. Thank you. Sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. And welcome that frequency of the heart to just really open through the body wherever you've been holding it, in the mind wherever you've been holding it. Saying, okay, let's flow some energy through there where you've been holding it. Let's flow some energy. Let's take some deep breaths through the heart and ah, feel that expansion. Let this body open and the mind open and the heart open and welcoming the quality of yourself that you really want to feel through that. Again, maybe it's that peace, that joy, that connection, that calmness, that groundedness, that self-acceptance, that self-love, whatever's here for you. Just feel again your body, your feet, just welcoming this new frequency of this energy to expand through you and just feeling that and just noticing that with that thank you at the end there, that deep gratitude for yourself right now, that deep gratitude for yourself. Or coming into this moment to receive yourself this way, to allow that shift, to allow that movement of energy. And knowing that this is something you can continue to do with that piece that showed up or with anything else, so that it may support you. As we welcome our heart light, our soul light to just fill our whole body, our whole self in this moment. Thank you. Thank you. Ah, so beautiful. Saw and felt a lot shift in the field and a lot come up, and know that there may be some sadness or grief that still may want to move for you in this experience, or maybe more joy or happiness will come forward as well, whatever you're experiencing. So, one of the things that was really coming through to also engage with through the way of the heart is trust, trusting ourselves, really coming into that deep trust of the self, right? And I think this is also engaging with that energy that we're feeling right now that's really coming alive for us, right? That we can trust that that energy is is who we are. We can trust that energy as the self. We can trust that energy is not just something that's happening outside and coming in and we're at effect of it, right? That we're trusting that it's coming from within us too. We're engaging with this greater living consciousness of a field. So when we're in that deep trust, then when we're in that deep trust of ourself and that experience, then we can feel more in our body and more grounded and connected, because we're not feeling like it's, that we're trusting it's doing what it needs to do, that it's opening what it needs to open. And then it's like, right? Trusting that movement, that momentum, that energy. Beautiful. Yeah, exactly. I love that, Charmaine. We spent so long putting layers of protection around ourselves. We were so in fear of feeling. But now, as we open the heart and allow ourselves to feel, we feel things much more intensely. But beautiful, we do not resist if we do not resist. Absolutely. Absolutely. We don't resist. Does anyone else want to share anything in this moment? Or have a question or would like support? Oh, yes, Claire. Hi. I have a sinus issue with some left cheek pain. Can you see anything energetic that's causing the pain? Thank you, Kristen. Yeah, Claire. Let's take a look at that. So I see this line of energy going all the way down. It's like spiraling around your body all the way down to your lower back, your root area. So what's happening with your root? What's happening with your sense of place, your sense of self, your sense of connection to community or location or that? So um, I'm seeing that there's that place of that sense of self where your energy is really starting to come up and rise like it is for all of us. We may call it that kundalini or our life force energy, like, but it's kind of like there's something in the root that's kind of holding it, and then where that left cheek is, it's kind of like what thoughts are you having? Because I saw it spiral, from the left down around the right and then into the root, going, where's the mind at odds with letting your energy come up, and our nose and our sinuses and all of that. It's like, what are you holding? Any regret or any resentment or anything that held towards yourself or others right now, with your energy coming alive, with maybe wanting your energy to come alive, but there's still that, not sure. Because it's like there's parts of you that are really open to it, but then there's like this kind of not sure how to let maybe some of that energy have a pathway through. So if that resonates with you, just curious. Like the energy wants to move and it's hitting that. So it's like, here's some pain. Here, let's take a look at this. Where are we actually holding the pain? What's the real pain here? That you're holding that's causing the actual physical expression of the pain. Ah, And Alice, yeah, Claire. So just let me know in chat if any of that resonates with you so we can further that. Makes a lot of sense. Thank you. You're welcome. So yeah, maybe just taking a moment to notice, and really go into maybe write or go into meditation or something where you get to engage with, okay, I know that I'm holding this, and or resentment or regret, and or just maybe some trepidation around how to work with this energy that's coming alive in you. Right? And Alice, you said you wanted to share a dream you had. I know dreams have been really alive right now for people. Woo! A very vivid, a lot of lucid dreams, a lot of space coming up, a lot of things coming up. So yeah, Alice, go ahead. Thank you for being here.
Um, so dreams, sometimes I have a hard time remembering if I've dreamed. So I set the intention that before I went to sleep, uh, set the intention and prayed for guidance in my sleep. And I remembered the dream. And so it was like really weird. I know it was a sign because I, prayed for it and then I remembered it. Um, so it was like I live in an apartment and I have a balcony. I'm on it right now. Um, and so in the dream, the balcony, like with no notice, like there was just a demolition vehicle came up and just took the entire balcony off. And so I'm freaking out, like, oh my gosh, I have plants and stuff on there, like, did they just destroy my plants? And then I noticed that it was all put inside my apartment, like all that was safe. Um, and so then I was like calmer, but I was like really confused, like, what just happened? What are they doing? And then all of a sudden, a new balcony was put up that was in a lot better place, like it looked a lot better, good shape. And so that was pretty much the gist of the dream. But I want to know what you think about that, what kind of guidance that was. Um, I kind of think I have an idea. So if you could give some insight to that, that would be awesome.
Right. So what I was looking at is as you right when you said demolition of balcony, it was almost like you like to sit out on your balcony, the view, the connection, the being outside. It's like
Yeah.
what new perspective or what's the new experience that you're creating or wants to come through for you? It's almost like what I was seeing was it was getting wiped away so a new one could be built.
Mm.
So what do you build?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Well, and I did spend a lot of time with my deceased cat out here. So
Okay.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it either. Uh, when she wouldn't feel well, she would want to come out and lay on the balcony
Uh-huh.
and get sun or air. So I think she was recharging her energy, which is what I do a lot of times on the balcony as well, get grounded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so it was a very significant place for me.
Mhm.
And since she passed, I haven't spent as much time out here, but part of it is because it's pretty humid where I live.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do like to come out here, and I did with her. It was our time to spend together. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it either, but yeah, I kind of felt the same thing. Like a strong message I've been getting was that I need to release the old, and that's happening, and welcome in the new, get
Yeah.
rid of clutter and things like that. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. And your cat showed up and it was just like she's so happy. She's like, yeah, just it's almost like she was tuned in to your true energy. And she's like, just do what you've been wanting to do. Like create your space the way you really want to create your space. And that's not just your physical space, but your internal space. So both of
yeah,
so I see you like doing different things with your balcony or your home that can express this new energy that
there's a train, sorry.
I can't really hear it, so it's okay. Um, but yeah, just it's going clean slate, clean swipe, and like you said,
Yeah,
like as everything that was on the balcony was brought inside, so everything was okay. So it's like everything's okay.
yeah,
And how do we want to see life differently now? Like, what's your viewpoint now?
yeah,
How are you going to shape and create your space from that viewpoint?
right. Um, is anything else coming through about my cat and her presence?
Uh, it's like once you really, it's like she's holding space for you right now, but once you really step into that, she can move on.
Uh,
You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. So she's ready for
yeah,
you,
because
supporting you, but she's ready. She's
I've
ready.
been feeling like she wants to. I'm sorry.
Like she's ready to go, but she wants to stay to support you as much as possible. But it's like, all right, the new frequency is here. Just do it. Like she's encouraging you, just do it. Just do the
Oh, okay.
okay. Everything's okay.
Because I've been feeling like maybe she was trying to connect with me, but I was having a hard time making that connection for some reason. Like I've just been feeling like she's trying to let me know that she's here. Almost feeling her presence a little, but
Yeah,
having a hard time making that connection.
yeah. Well, she's very vibrant. She's very present, but she's just holding the space for you to make that shift. And she's holding the space for you to make that shift.
Uh, so that's why I've been not really being able to connect with her the way that I've been trying to.
Yeah, because it's time to do it differently. It's time. It's like the new view, the new
Right,
experience.
right. Yeah. There's things in the way, basically, things I need to work on in order to welcome in the new and um, for her to be able to transition and um, me be able to feel her presence,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. And it's not,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Okay.
it's also what I'm hearing too is let go of the attachment to feeling her presence. Just focus on you,
Hmm.
focus on what you're shifting into, focus on the energy, focus on yourself. And that will
Hmm.
naturally start to open up those connections because you're engaging with your energy. That is your true essence that she's holding the space for, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's crazy you say that because I've been working on letting go of attachments to things and people and places and stuff.
Good, beautiful. All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're so welcome, Alice. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Ah, yeah. Uh, so glad, Manisha, that you're feeling lighter. And yes, absolutely. Could definitely feel that shift. Claire, yeah, beautiful, Manisha. I'm glad you're able to be present with us and experience that. So, Claire, as I see heart signs a lot as I'm listening to Kristen talking, I see a crumb on the ground that looks like a heart. What a wonderful sign today. Oh, that's fabulous. Look at that. That's great. Love that. Um, yeah, your message to Alice, I resonate with that too. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, absolutely. We're in such a divine time right now. We really are with the sacred union that wants to really come forward with ourselves, and recognizing, that those things that we have been holding, and those attachments that we have had, always recognizing that all of us is present with that. Like, because we can kind of think like, oh, I'm separated from myself. I disconnected myself because I'm holding this idea or pattern. And yes, there is an element of that. It's that your full expression couldn't be had, but you were always there. And so now we just get to say, now if we look at that construct of that belief, that perception, that attachment, that experience going, I'm right here and I can be right here with it. How much of me can be right here with it to let that energy start to shift into create a new perspective of it. So it's like underneath everything, it's interesting, with a lot of the things that I lead, it's like, as we go through it, under the layers and the layers, what do you get to? Just that deep presence of self, that deep presence of self that's underneath every possible idea, belief, feeling, experience, memory, trauma, whatever it is, that deep essence of self is still always present. And when we can merge them, wow, power. That's our power. And so that's what we'll be doing. Yeah. Sarah, I thank you. I feel a lot lighter. Wonderful. Thank you. Wow. Well, I'm just really grateful to have been able to be here with you today and share about the way of the heart and also support the field here in this experience of what we're becoming, who we really are and what's coming alive for us as we're choosing, to step to be in who we really are and recognizing the energy and the experiences and all of this as a part of us so that we can go through the deepest transmutation and embodiment of the frequencies that are happening right now. And so just to share that invitation of the way of the heart. I feel that this is what's really really alive for us right now, and I really am appreciating all that are going to be joining the circle and the group. And those of you, if you're feeling the call and you're not quite sure if it's 100%, let's get on a call, let's talk, let's connect. And, like I said, there's gifting plans available if needed. And I'm offering, just the ceremonies and then a 1 hour session with the ceremonies as well. So it's 422 for the Way of the Heart, and then it's 522 if you want an hour session throughout the 4 weeks. Just in case something always comes up that maybe you're like, oh, I want to go deeper on one on that, and outside of the group process. And so I make that available as well at a discount from my normal rate for a session. So I'm really excited for this momentum that we're all feeling and how we're all coming alive and what we're all tuning into to support us at this time. So if you feel called to email me, we'll get you in, and we'll create this way of the heart even further, our connection to our heart, ourself, our intuition, our guidance, our soul, and have a wonderful, wonderful experience together. Manisha, yeah, thank you, Kristen. Hope your son feels better soon. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm pretty amazed with him. He's quite a trooper. I wasn't here when it happened because he was with his grandmother, but I stopped what I was doing and got things together and drove here, and because she's 2.5 hours away from where I live. And so um got here late last night because it happened in the late evening. So he's a trooper. He's holding it together and he's doing really well. So I'm sure he'll heal up pretty quickly. So Alice, thank you too, and Charmaine, I'm so grateful for you. Kristen, oh yeah, thank you, grateful for you and gathering us together. She says, thank you, everyone. Love you all so much. Love you too. I'll be sending this recording out and knowing that these, meditations are available, or just these processes are available at any time. So yeah, thank you, Claire. It's a lovely circle and connection day, just beautiful. And I needed it. Yeah. Thank you, Claire. So enjoy, everyone. And yeah, we'll be in touch. And I'm actually going to be doing Mastering Monday too on Monday, and I'll be sharing more about the frequencies and supporting an integration of the frequencies of the planet and a meditation as well through that. So I'll be sending out those emails over the weekend. Wow. I'm just feeling the expanse of the circle, and it feels so good. So let's take a deep breath and feel our bodies come into our hearts, feel our feet, and just feel the gratitude of life. Feel the gratitude for ourselves, feel the gratitude for all that is and all we're creating together here when we gather, and how we get to take that and move it through into our lives every day. Thank you so much for being here. So much love to all of you, and look forward to connecting with any of you. Some of you that are here are already a part of the Way of the Heart. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. And for those of you who want to join, just email me and we'll have a conversation if needed. So I love you all. Be well, and enjoy the rest of your day. And maybe we'll see you Monday for Mastery Monday. Be well. Lots of love.